you want to develop brute strength in functional power, there is no better tool for the job than a sandbag. After all, what's stronger than the earth itself? So in this video, we're going to be going over how the sandbag reshapes your core and provides you with that real world strength. So let's get into it. And stick around until the end of the video for a free guide on how to get started with sandbags. Real world strength. Probably the biggest appeal of sandbags is how applicable they are to real life scenarios. Being large, burdensome loads of inconsistency, they replicate odd objects that might be present in your real world. The whole point of the gym, after all, is to prepare for your day-to-day life. Be strong to be useful, as the saying goes. Rocks, logs, hay, and even people are all made much more manageable by playing around with sandbags. Even professional strongmen who need to maneuver massive atlas stones will rely on sandbags to augment their strength. After all, sandbags are much easier to store, acquire, and maneuver, allowing for maximal strength gains without the hassle of concrete. I mean, think about it. Most things you lift outside the gym aren't perfectly balanced or knurled or, well, made for you to grab. They don't have predictable centers of gravity or even predictable weight distributions at all. They shift, they force you to adjust and stabilize and react dynamically. A heavy bag that sags in your arms, shifts unpredictably, or forces you to find leverage in new ways builds a kind of strength that's transferable to everything, from carrying groceries to dragging an injured friend to safety. This is why sandbags are a favorite among military professionals, firefighters, first responders, and combat sport athletes alike. The ability to pick up, manage, and carry heavy, awkward loads under pressure is paramount to being useful in stressful situations. A barbell may teach raw strength, but a sandbag teaches usable strength. Grip endurance, core stability, and creating force from odd angles are qualities that can only be acquired by training with the inconsistency of a sandbag. Unlike a barbell or a dumbbell, a sandbag punishes bad form. If you don't engage your whole body, the bag will slip from your grasp or fold awkwardly against your chest, forcing you to fight for control. It demands tension in your grip, in your upper back, and your core, muscles that protect your spine and keep you injury-free in real-world situations. I mean, try cleaning a sandbag to your shoulder. It's not going to move smoothly like a barbell. It's not going to be as swift as a dumbbell. You have to explode through your hips, stabilize against the shifting weight, and control the descent so it doesn't slam right back into your body. These are skills that carry over to everything from lifting furniture to wrestling an opponent. And because of their instability, sandbags build resilience very few tools can. The unpredictable movement of the load forces consistent micro adjustments, strengthening tendons, ligaments, and deep antagonistic muscles that work as stabilizers and often go unnoticed in traditional weightlifting. It's no wonder athletes in strongmen, wrestling, and combat sports use them religiously. And the beauty of it all is that even with a sandbag, if you screw it up, you're still training. You're still getting even odder positions and lifts that can't even be named. Even through failure with a sandbag, just struggling with the weight is going to make you a stronger lifter and a better athlete. But of course, keeping consistency is the fastest way to success. I think about the classic bear hug carry, hugging a sandbag to your chest and walking. It might seem simple, but it builds an iron grip, bulletproof posture, and lung-crushing endurance. It's one of the closest gym approximations to the demands of real-world carrying, like hauling a wounded teammate, or a struggling child, or just moving your laundry from room to room. If you want to make these lifts even more applicable, try underloading your sandbags. You get the same lift, but 4 times as difficult. With an underloaded sandbag, you don't even get a consistent shape. It's not going to be bag shape or round or square or whatever bag it's supposed to be. Instead, you get this amorphous blob that you're going to have to constantly fight in order to get anywhere productive. For grapplers, the underloaded bag also simulates the struggle of keeping a particularly slippery opponent in a body lock. And I don't think I need to explain how useful that skill is. Not to mention, the underloaded bag allows for some very different types of grips. With a normal sandbag, you have to use a false grip in order to lap it. But an underloaded bag, you can grab the canvas, practicing your crush and even pinching strength, which will result in forearm size and applicability that is virtually unparalleled by any other piece of equipment. But whether you're shouldering, loading, pressing, carrying, or dragging a sandbag, you're building strength in raw, messy, and brutally effective ways. It's strength training without the convenience. And you just adjust to the awkward, shifting mass. Master the sandbag, and everything is going to feel lighter. Core strength. If there's one thing sandbag does better than almost any other tool, it's forging a core that will work in all three dimensions. Forget crunches. This is how you actually develop a strong core. Every time you lift, carry, or stabilize a shifting bag, your midsection has to fight to keep you upright, braced, and balanced. And unlike traditional ab exercises, which mostly isolate either the rec abs, trans abs, or obliques independently, sandbag training hammers in your entire core, your rector spinae, rec abs, trans abs, obliques, all of it at once. Building a core that fights back is the point of a sandbag. It doesn't fit nicely in your hands. It twists, pulls, and tries to fold you in half, meaning your obliques and trans abs are constantly firing in order to resist that rotation and keep you stable. Or, in cases like over the shoulders or throwing, creating the force to twist that bag. After all, you are fighting against something, and that's the soul of the sandbag. Exercises like sandbag to shoulder, cleans, and offset carries force your body to react dynamically to shifting weight, make your core stronger than any sit-up could ever try to. Then there's the rector spinae. This is the muscle that most people complain about hurting as they get older, when they, bend down wrong and tweak something while shoveling the multiple feet of snow you'll get in the north. Sandbags have doctorates in training the erectors, especially when you're pulling a bag from the floor or carrying it in a bear hug. These muscles are crucial for preventing back injuries, reinforcing your posture, and making you stronger in everyday movements, like picking up heavy objects, climbing, or striking in combat sports. The beautiful part about the sandbag is that it doesn't just provide isometric strength for your rector spinae. This is what things like good mornings or RDLs tend to do, as your back isn't allowed to round. But the erector spinae, like any muscle, can both flex and extend. Exercises like over the shoulders, or sandbag to shoulder, or even a bag over bar will force your back to bend and extend, arch and crunch, which will train the erector spinae under load in multiple planes. This way, you get some crazy hypertrophy and a legitimately resilient back. Well, and let's not forget about the rec abs, which are, of course, the antagonists to the erector spinae. Through all those same exercises that have you flexing and extending your erector spinae, you're also training your six-pack. I mean, think about it. All a sit-up is crunching down, but most people don't load that. If you have your body weight on your shoulders and you're slamming it to the ground, that's a lot of force production that's going to lead to some powerful abs. There are even variations of get-ups that you can do that force you to sit up with the sandbag, allowing for that extra load to an already great exercise. Part of the core that most people forget, though, is the trans abs. These are the things that help stabilize you on your big lifts like squat, bench, deadlift, and that you feel tremble when you do hollow body holds. Sandbag carries or clean and presses are some of my favorite ways of training the trans abs. It can result in not only a pretty core, but a 3D one. If you want to be built like a brick shit house, the sandbag will help mold the way. There is no better tool for managing uneven load, creating that 3D deep core, than the sandbag. And there you have it. An in-depth guide on everything about sandbags. From how they develop your core to the real-world strength, sandbags are some of the most perfect tools that you can find in the gym. Luckily, they're super cheap. You can get them on Amazon for virtually nothing, or get them from a big name employer like Ape, Cerberus, Freedom, or even Titan or Rogue for not a whole lot of cash. Find some sand, fill it up, and you have a tool for life, underfilled or at capacity. Sandbag will always find new ways to challenge you, and I'm sure you'll love learning about it. So, like I said, click the link in the description for your free tutorial guide on the basics of sandbags, and be sure to follow here for more weekly content. We go over training philosophy, tool highlights, and superhero themed workouts that I'm sure will get you ready for anything. Until next time, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.